Alright, welcome back. This is the 9th race in the Pacific Raceways Circuit Series. And this is the last race that we did. The next one is coming up on Tuesday. This was July 9th, and as you can see, it was a beautiful sunny day again. We are about one lap in, and I decide that I wanted to up the pace a little bit. Thought I'd inject a little pace and see if somebody would come with me, but as you'll see in just a second, no one seems to follow. So, again, one lap in, and I'm off on my own. I'm going to speed this up so you don't have to sit through approximately 3 laps solo break here. Sure wish I could ride this fast. This was about, well, this was at the start of the month, so I'm trying to remember everything that happened in this race. We had a good sized turnout. Again, this is the 45 plus Masters race, but there were also women here, a few of them. Mostly, I think this time maybe just Emily and Kat from our team, which I think you'll see appear in this video at some point. And when I was out here on the break, I was hoping again that someone would come across. It's too early for me to stay away. I definitely cannot hold off the field for an entire race. But I think back in the field, I was told that I think Andrew from 10-Speed Hero was telling everybody just to leave me out there and let me burn myself out. So at several points when I was out solo here, I was kind of soft pedaling. I wasn't going all out. I'd kind of get to a point where I'd be like, come on, catch me, and then it looked like the peloton was slowing down. So I'd put in a little extra effort, get a good workout at least, and I knew that once they caught me, I'd still have some time to hopefully recover and recoup before the final. I think our team had a good showing in this group too. I don't remember how many guys we had, but Doug's here and Tyler's here and Kirk, who is a newer addition to our team, who's super strong. He's here as well. Got Geary out here and all that. So yeah, we had a good group. All right. So I'm finally caught, and Doug counterattacks with Chad from Mercedes, and there's Andrew from 10-Speed Hero following. So I drift back to the middle of the pack, or maybe even the back of the pack. I can't remember how far back I drifted here. Unfortunately, this attack did not last too long. Anytime Andrew goes, everybody else tries to follow, so I think that kind of doomed Doug and Chad's attack when Andrew went after them. So we're going to skip ahead a little farther into the race to the next attack. And there goes, I think it was somebody from Taco Time going off on the left. You can kind of just see them up there in the distance. And don't know if anybody follows. Not at first. I think everybody's just kind of sitting and waiting. Giving that guy a little bit of leash. Definitely taking it easy at 90 watts. And there goes Doug on the right. So Doug decides to try to bridge across. And unfortunately, that gets a bigger reaction from the field than the Taco Time rider did. Doug, being tied for first place right now, is definitely going to be a marked man. And tied for first place in the series, by the way. And he's tied with Andrew Martin from 10-Speed Hero. or actually, maybe coming into this race, Andrew might have been a little bit behind him on points. Could be wrong on that, but I feel like maybe Doug had a point on him or something. Anyway, I see that there's a kind of a big split in the field here, so I decided to try to bridge across. At this point, I didn't take anybody across with me, but the front group has swollen up enough that I think that they're kind of laying off the pace a little bit. I say that, but we're going 37 miles an hour. At least I was, to catch up to them. So we got Doug right in front of me. And yeah, everybody kind of pulls the plug on this. And the peloton's going to regroup in just a second here. And it's all back together. Alright, we'll move forward to the next major attack, or minor attack. So we've got Chip from Liquid Velo right in front of me going off. I don't know who that is up there with him. It looks like they're giving a little bit of leash. I don't know if there was a big reaction. Saw Andrew from 10-Speed Hero up there. Couldn't quite tell, but it looks like they've got a little gap here. But now we see some people reacting and deciding they want to pull that back. This is the flat course. We go counterclockwise. Got Kat from my team right in front of me. And that's the end of that one. So that was a short-lived attempt. We'll move ahead again. It's about 3/4 of the way through the lap. It's that same lap. And I think that is Chip from Liquid Velo again, taking off on a break. He's got a pretty good gap there. We have about 8 miles left, so I think that's going to be about 5 or 6 laps, probably 5 laps left. Drop bar looked like they were going to chase it down, but decided against it. But unfortunately for Chip, this turns out to be a preem lap. So that's always one of the worst feelings when you're out there and you just start a break and you come across the finish line and they ring the bell for a preem. Usually that means you're going to be doomed because the pack's going to come after you. Now, I'm sitting here on the front. Well, I guess I'm not quite on the front. But I'm not planning on going for the preem. So I'm just kind of soft pedaling. I'm not really worried about chasing Chip down at this point. But I do figure there's going to be a reaction. Usually 10-Speed Hero is going to, whoop, yep, there goes Mike Robson, starting to pull the peloton along to try to get Andrew in position to sprint for the preem. They typically do go for the preems. Andrew's the one in all white right there. Looks like Chip still has a pretty good gap there coming around this turn. My goal on this preem lap is really just stay in touch. I don't want to get too far behind in case somebody counterattacks and the brake goes. Got Brian from Apex in front of me. Now he's got a GoPro on, so that's how I can identify him pretty easily. He does a lot of videos of Seward. I've never seen him do a PR video though. I don't know why. All right, Chad from Mercedes decides he's gonna take up the chase. And I'm gonna get in line here. I was hesitating here. I didn't know if I wanted to try to jump across because they've got a pretty big gap. But I see Brian from Apex and this guy from Fell Swoop. And I figure, well, oh, there goes Doug. He's trying to bridge across. The guy in front of me is like super powerful. It's like riding behind a linebacker. So I figured, well, I'm just going to stay in his draft. I know he can put out watts, and this is a flat course, and this is slightly downhill, so this seemed like a smart move. And if I'm doing 250 to 300 in this draft, I can't imagine what he's doing. But he does pull us back into contact with that front group. And they've just about caught Chip there. So that worked out pretty well for me. I didn't have to expend too much energy to catch up with everyone. Looks like the whole peloton's back together again. I don't actually know who won this preem. I'm guessing it was either Andrew or Mike from 10 Speed Hero. For some reason, I think it might have been Mike. If that was the case, that's actually good for Doug, because when you win a preem, you get 1 point towards the series standings as well. All right, just jumping into the final lap and a half here. You can see off to the left there just a second ago, Andrew was waving. I think he was trying to get his 10 Speed Hero team up front to start setting the pace and get him to the point where he could do a lead out, but at the same time, somebody else attacked while he was doing that. I can't remember who that was. Might have been Apex. Might have been Chip again. I know Chip was pretty active this race. Alright, it's all back together. I feel like I'm sitting in a pretty decent position here. Then I kind of get swarmed. I'm losing a little more position than I would prefer. But it kind of slows down. Everybody's spreading out, trying to feel it out, decide who's going to do what. Everybody in these races keys off 10 Speed Hero because they do have a well-trained unit. They do great lead-outs. And Andrew is the fastest sprinter. It's kind of one of those situations where you have to decide, like, do you want to be on his wheel and try to win? Typically that doesn't work. You're going to end up second to him. But what are the other options? You know, they are very good at chasing down anybody that tries to break away. So there we are, 1 lap to go. Got Chad right there from Mercedes. I'm a little bit too far up. I do not want to be in the wind, so I kind of back off. Got Chip up front, and then Doug for my team right behind him. Then you got Andrew. Oh, I'm sorry, Doug's right there. I don't know who that is for my team. At this point, everybody's just kind of playing the game, trying to figure out where they want to be come that final sprint. These are, I mean, it's a circuit race, so they're longer laps. I think it's a little over a mile and a half per lap. I need to put a lap counter on these videos. I'll try to do that going forward. We've only got one more Pacific Raceways race this month, which is the 29th of July. And then there's only one in August on the 12th. But we do have 4 more in September. So a total of 6 more in the series. Figure that gives me 6 more opportunities to try to get my first ever win. Still haven't won a single race. I don't count Zwift races. I've won a couple of those, but I don't know. A D category Swift race is not really something that I count as a win. Probably should be a little closer to the front at this point. No, yeah, I guess I decided at that point that it needs to be a little closer to the front. So I'll make a little move to surge up a few places. Like I said, this is a long lap. We got wide courses, or a wide road, so don't have to worry about getting boxed in until that final sprint. Cats are fighting over in the corner, so if you hear anything weird, that's what it is. Alright. Now it's getting serious. I'm behind Chad, who is behind Doug, who is sitting right behind Andrew. So we're actually in really good position at this point. Got a couple of guys dropping off the front of the train. And I am able to kind of take Doug's wheel from Chad here. Chad goes a little to the outside. He unfortunately puts himself in the wind. So that worked out well for me. Gave me a little bit of shelter, got me on Doug's wheel. And the sprint is about to go. So there we go. I ended up getting 4th. So it was Andrew, Mike, Doug, then myself. Here you have the weekly results. And here are the current standings. We've got some ties in 1st place. Got a tie down there in 5th place. All right, I will see you guys again next Tuesday.